The evening of the week, actually, but...
You're not going to make up for that comment yesterday.
It has to be said, though, that the Norfolk Rose expert, Peter Beales, has won an international award for his pioneering work with roses at his garden centre in Attleborough. Boasting 1,200 different varieties of roses, his collection now stars in the Worldwide Rose Garden Hall of Fame, which recognises his outstanding dedication to the preservation of rare roses, in fact.
Now back to that crunch match for England at the World Cup.
Oh dear, yes, there's been much debate about why coach Fabio Capello leaves it so late to tell his players if they're in the team.
But one player already knows that he's facing Slovenia tomorrow, and that's former Dis schoolboy Matthew Upson. Donovan Blake reports.
Forget the sports pages. In Dis, Matthew Upson is front page news. The local paper championed his selection for the England team to face Slovenia. Now staff at the Dis Express are waiting in anticipation to see what impact Upson makes in Port Elizabeth tomorrow.
We, as a newspaper, have covered Matthew's progress since he was a youngster at Dis Town Football Club. And our sports editor, Nick Wells, spoke to him 4 years ago when he was unfortunately sat at home with crutches watching England play in the World Cup, thoroughly supporting them, but perhaps not thinking he'd be there, in 4 years' time.
Upson's route to the professional game accelerated while studying at Dis High School. He was a regular in the school teams with one of his closest friends. Rob Connolly is now a teacher at Notre Dame High School in Norwich and says Upson is living the dream in South Africa.
I can remember vividly sitting watching one game and we had a conversation and Matt said, you never know. And I think it was a young Ferdinand was playing at the time, and I think Matt set his sights then, and it's just such a testament to the effort he's put in over the last 12 years.
Upson's former head of year at Dis High is Lynn Gittins.
Obviously, I like to mention that I knew him.
It's one of those claim to fame things, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't get many, really, but now and again in teaching, you do come across somebody who turns out to be a bit special.
The odds on England winning and Upson scoring look pretty inviting from one of the town's bookmakers. He doesn't score many, just the one for England so far, although preventing goals will be high on his list if they're to make progress.
He's ready for it, and I feel he's really going to be in a position to take England forward tomorrow, so hopefully the team and him will perform.
And all the speculation about disharmony in the camp under coach Fabio Capello will no doubt disappear quickly if Upson and England get the job done. Donovan Blake, Anglia News, Dis.
Now, the England footballers probably feel as if they're walking on hot coals the whole time at the moment, so this next story would be of particular interest to them. The UK's first training course for firewalking instructors is actually taking place in Cambridgeshire.
The training is designed to build personal confidence and is normally held in Dallas or California, but this time it's come to Thorney near Peterborough. So we sent Stuart Leiths along to find out a bit more.
At this time of year, our thoughts turn to barbecues, although I doubt that grilled feet will be top of your menu. But the people on this course being run at Thorney near Peterborough were aiming to hot-foot it across scorching embers. They were being taught to be firewalking instructors so that they can run their own personal development courses.
Most people do have a natural fear of fire. Most people have been burned or scalded or something like that at some point in their lives. And then when we get them to realise, after they've walked on the fire, actually how easy it is and that there's no hassle in it at all, there's no problem, then they get some real perspective about what are the things they're making more difficult than needs to be in their lives.
Steve believes this is the first course of its kind in the country. The would-be firewalkers had to let the wood burn down and rake out the embers. Next, it was time for some positive chanting.
Yes, yes, yes!
And then, as this was only the first day of their course, it was Steve who demonstrated how it should be done. Experts say it's possible because each foot is only briefly in contact with the embers, and that the burning embers actually conduct heat relatively slowly to the feet.
Hesitant, I must say, but with all the power that comes from the group so far, really exciting about it. But I must say there is a little bit of fear in it as well. But that's why we're here to overcome that and take ourselves to the next level.
When you actually get someone to do something they never believed they could do, it just completely changes their mindset and makes them realise that if they tell themselves they can do something, that they can actually be, do and have whatever they want from life.
Finally, it was time for Steve to talk me through it, while I decided whether to give it a go.
You have got to be kidding. Stuart Leith's Anglia News, Thorney.
I just love the way that instructor was. It goes without saying, you really shouldn't try that in what's left of your World Cup barbecue.
No.
Definitely not. Do not.
Now, earlier we asked you what you thought of employers' plans to help their staff enjoy the match. And this is what you had to say.
We've had a few of them, not all employers, I have to say. This is one from Benji Moody from Colchester. Says, we can't see the game because we've got an A-level from 1:45 to 3:15. They should put it on the game using projectors with the sound of. Probably not a good idea, but it does start at 3, so you might get the second half, I suppose.
Samantha Hubbard from Norwich. Hello. I think every company should let staff watch the football. My husband works so hard all year, he's been told he can't leave off early to watch it.
Brett O'Brien says, I asked to pick up my 3 children at 2:45 to watch the game, and the head would not allow us. Oh, well, don't worry.
Yvette from Haverhill. I'll be taking my husband Bob for a meal in the local pub for his birthday and then going to the ex-serviceman club in Haverhill to watch the match on the big screen. What more could the birthday boy want?
He's a spoilt birthday boy.
Now, don't forget our website at itv.com/Anglia.
Watch all the reports from this evening's programme. There's a full weather forecast. They'll also find exclusive behind-the-scenes web reports from our visit to the Anglia allotment yesterday as well.
Now, we're almost halfway through your news hour. Here's what's coming up on the national news in just a couple of minutes.
Right, let's see what the weather's up to, shall we now? Here's Amanda.
I think the smell of barbecues will be wafting over East Anglia tomorrow.
It certainly will be, all over the east. It's going to be a fantastic afternoon. I feel it in my bones.
We might hold you to that. Right, now it's time for us to say goodbye. By this time tomorrow, of course, we'll know if England have made it through to the next stage of the World Cup.
It is going to be a hideous afternoon, isn't it? Now, the Mullanes from Huntingdon have been in touch. So then, there they are, from Tommy, who's 3, Leo, who's 9, and 2-year-old Chelsea Mullane. Come on, England, from all of us here.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.